Haha, you made it. Welcome, tires to the tire. We're up and down, down is up, down is up, left inside out, same time. What's real and what's fake, and realer than real. How do you feel? Let's find out. Just think about it. Let's dive. Let's go beyond. All alone. Who are we? Who am I? Just time. Just think about these things. This is a very life-changing story where I went to hell and back and farther beyond the limits of our imagination. So you can say that these are inspired by true events where you are about to encounter these most true laws of art. Hey guys, welcome to the Just Ty Now Show with your host Ty. Just think about these things. Warning, this does not promote the use of illegal drugs. What you do with your body, This is for educational and documentational purposes only. Do not recreate this. Guys, man, there go warning. Just Ty, guys. Combine your mind with your heart, connect those two circles, and let whatever come out just come on out. Yeah, y'all know why y'all here. I'm gonna just get straight to the story. I did 4 grams of psilocybin cyanesis, which I'm finding is different than Panacellus cyanesis, which is known as the blue meanie. This one is psilocybin cyanesis, which grows on wood chips, mostly in the western side of the United States, in California and things like that during the winter season. And as y'all know, I've been microdosing allegedly with these mushrooms for a while. So the experience, I can just say, man, I did it. I'm gonna jump back and forth. You know how we tie? Just let it out. I did it in silent darkness, prepared for it and everything. Started about 1:30 at night. So the preparation to this, what led up to this, was very awesome story in and of itself. And it's y'all been here the whole time, microdosing little experiments and having things pop up, meditating, like really helped me during the experience. Talking it out helped me during this experience. It's not even about what helped me during the experience, but I could say that it was some technical tools going on that I was able to say, all right, now it's time to breathe. All right, not going to freak out. All right, I know what's going on. Oh yeah, I did expect something like this. Oh yeah, wow. Don't have death by astonishment, but see what's going on. And know that these are all thoughts coming to me, and they go in and go out, no matter how apparent they are. I was going in. I was ready. I was fasting for the past 4 days. And that's why I bring up the microdose, because I was doing little teas and then said, man, I'm going to do the bigger dose later at night. But then I would go through so much with the little tea, because this psilocybin cyanesis, like I did 4 grams, but you might as well say compared to psilocybin cubensis that it was about 6 grams. And I was rechecking things on Shroomery, and everybody adds about like 1.5 grams compared to Shrooms.
Some say double
compared to cubensis when they do the trip. And cubensis is like the golden teachers, the common mushroom that you see out there, out on the playing field, out on the streets when people just are handling stuff all willy-nilly. Because they're easy to grow, they're easy to cultivate. They're one of the only mushrooms that are around that is like more cultivated indoors than anything else, any other mushroom species. They're like more at home with humans, so to speak. Isn't that wild? That's something to just tie about. But the psilocybin cyanesses, I've been loving them. I've been loving them, making them in teas, and I was fasting 4 days because I was scared of throwing up and having to have to go diarrhea and all that stuff. I was like, man, I don't want to go through that. I just want to have a good come up, smooth trip and do all of that. So I found myself being extra serious, trying to prepare for everything. Y'all know how it get, man. Can't really prepare for anything. That's why I'm saying I had the tools, but the tools was just like blah at the same time. But I was fasting, and I wanted a bed. And I was just say I wanted a bed. We didn't have a bed in this house since we moved here. We had a couple of air mattresses in the beginning, but we got over that. And we got a couch. And I was like, yo, I want to be able to trip comfortably. And we got a couch like a week before we got the bed. And I was like, I want to be able to trip comfortably and everything. And I saw myself doing things in a bed. Like my dreams were so lucid. And we talk about this all the time. So y'all know the character. And I was seeing myself in bed. So then when the lady in the house brought a bed without telling me. It just appeared. Like she didn't tell me about the bed, and I was like, things is really setting up the stage. The stage is really being set. I'm really setting up the stage for me to do this without even knowing it. Y'all know how to tie sense, that extra sense, man. But sorry if I mix up my philosophy with this a lot, because I want to tell you about the trip, but this probably be broken up into parts. But we're gonna let it flow, yeah. But I was fasting, I was ready, I was getting into the conversations, and I was showing myself trying to not participate in a lot of things in order to so-called clear my mind out. All of these things play into the trip, so I'm setting the stage, man. I was like, yo, I don't want to think about these things in a certain way. I want to make sure I'm cool with this first before I go into the trip. And I'm glad that I was, because I saw that the sense that I was working in alongside the microdose and just doing the Thai thing, it was cool. But man, I'm gonna go to the story. I separate the mushrooms. This is another way I conquer my trick, psyched myself to. I separated the 4 grams of mushrooms like 2 days before in a Ziploc bag, then whatever else allegedly was there, so that I could not be like, oh man, this is a lot of mushroom. But I was actually able to see that, man, I was like, this is not that much. Like, what am I going tripping for? Wow, I mean, what am I tripping? What am I so fearful of this situation for? And the thing is, I've had a thing in the back of my mind of all the things that I was being fearful of. And that's why I saw myself running around, always making sure, I always make sure the house is clean, but I was making extra sure that everything was right, that I was trying to do right. And I was getting mad at myself when I would slip up. And I'm like, no, I can't go into the trip with these thoughts. I gotta just do it another day. I'm not worthy. I can't do it. I'm not worthy. And that's what I was getting, man. And that game, Sea of Solitude I was playing, it's a lot that come out, man. But I'm gonna say it in the form of the trip when it appears. So the day arrives and it's nighttime. Everybody, the 2 people that exist in this house are asleep. I'm like, okay, it's time. I'm like, I'm not going to, I was up all day. I didn't take no naps. I was just up. It was an excited day. I made sure I didn't get into anything that makes me go into a certain thing that I have to get myself into a mantra to get myself out of. Because I was like, as much as I present myself, I want to be that presentation. I wanted to go into my presentation, into myself, so as we say. So man, I said, all right, it's time to be the warrior. It's nighttime. I make the tea. I'm like, we're not going to think about this. Thoughts. I saw myself getting rid of, like, lessening thoughts. I was playing root herb. By the time I put it into a tea. I did put it into a tea because I still was worried about my stomach. But not worried about it. I was like, all right, we're just going to put it in tea, 'cause that's what I'm used to. and I made sure I used the bathroom. And it's wild because every time I'm about to take the tea, it's like I gotta use the bathroom at least like 4 times. So I was like, all right, cool. This is me just working myself out, working it out, everything working out. So now I'm on the bed and it's got the tea in the windowsill. The tea is in the windowsill. I said I'm gonna sit for a bit because Mr. Ozo thoughts was running through my head is saying he has like to do it at late night, everybody's sleep, and he likes to sit for a while before he does it just to clear the thoughts out or whatever. Just let whatever happen. So I was playing Rue Her by Apex Twins, like I said before. It has no music, no lyrics in it. It's just clouds. It's like do 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 do. I'll put the link to it in the description. But I was playing that, just sitting with my back against the wall, just breathing. I did this for a good like 15 minutes, and then I said, all right, I'm gonna get the tea. And then I put the tea back. And then I said, I didn't even smoke. I didn't want to smoke. Y'all know how much I smoke. But I said I didn't want to have cannabis involved for some reason. Because I said, this is what I said. I said, it seems like I get a little paranoid when I smoke. And it makes me not want to go deeper into myself. So I said, yo, that's something mushrooms were showing me through my meditation, how that's a literal blockage. That's a literal blockage that marijuana in this state that I'm smoking it in and taking into my body right now is not allowing me to push it in. It's getting me to a state, but it's not allowing me to cross that wall. It's not allowing me to cross that wall. So I was like, and when I'm on mushrooms, I feel as though I'm just going through all the walls. So I said, I'm just go straight into this with nuka nada but myself. So I did. So I'm sitting there poised against the wall, eyes closed, lights off, curtains closed, blinds shut and all of that thing. And then I grabbed the tea and I just hold it in my hand. I'm sitting there with my hand. Thoughts start trying to pop up, like the fears and all of that stuff, like nervousness of not even what's about to happen, but just of what already been happening in my life. Like I wasn't scared of the future, it was the past that was trying to catch up to me. The so-called past, so-called worries. But then after a moment, I said, no, I'm turning off this music, because this music is something that I feel is I already know this is something that's grounding me, something that I'm creating to because I don't want to let go. Already I don't want to let go. That's why I'm playing this music. Remember, this is my experience, this is my thoughts. That's why I was thinking like this. Because it's me, that's why I was thinking that. So I say, boop, I cut it off. cut it off. It was just me. It was just and I grabbed the cup in hand. This is a bucket right now. Hey, I can just grab this cup. Grab the cup in hand. And I just go. And I took one gulp. Two gulps. And the thing about it, I finished it in 4 gulps. And I always sip it. I always be sipping it usually like. And I'll be thinking, man, am I going to swallow this? I still have a chance to spit it out. And I had to feel like, no, you still have a chance to spit it out. You can still spit it out if you want. You can just do it now. Or you can just do this and then take another one. And you can switch it around. Because you still, and then you already know it's still kind of absorbed in your mouth already, right? You might as well swallow it. None of those thoughts was in my head. None, nuka nada. None of that was in my head. I just gulped it. I just gulped it, warriored it out. I was just goop. And it was on. It was on, and I just sat down. I said, okay, now it is. And now it is. Now it is. I was like, it is now. And I sat down, and the most position I laid down the whole time, I had my clutched 2 pillows, and I was laying down on my stomach because it felt like my back was able to stretch out more. I was able to breathe, and I was like this. So I was able to breathe. And then it skipped about 20 minutes in. After the thoughts, no, it wasn't even about 20 minutes in. About 5 minutes in, I started hearing frequencies. And I'm gonna tell you, I've heard frequencies a lot, but this time when I heard this part of the frequency before, I would say that I did a little vomiting about 30 minutes in, because that's when it changed to something else. It was a form of frequency. I want to say high pitch, but it was all high pitch. All right, all right. I must throw this in there, guys. Just Ty. It was an entity that was actually, what people will say entity, and I use that term, that was throwing out the sonic waves, that was throwing the beams towards me, and it was really extravagantly tall. I drew the best concept that I can of it at this moment right now. You'll see the picture right here. And as well, when I was watching a Gaslamp Killer DJ set yesterday that I seen before, the person, I put the picture right here, eerily reminds me of it. But this guy was tall, like skyscraper. I'm from Philly. Yo, look at this guy. I just noticed it while I was editing. He has a Tibetan sound bowl, and he walks around for the first song, and then he disappears. Saw this a million times, and now just skyscrapers. So it was like skyscraper tall, and probably even more. But I wasn't scared. I was not scared. Like, you ever hear your favorite song, as long as like a hype song, but you heard so many times, it's like it gets you hype, it gets you in the zone, but you're not running around in circles like it's the first time you ever heard it. Like, yeah, I gotta show people that I'm enjoying this, or show myself I'm excited. It was just like I was just sitting there, just enjoying it, mellowed out, so to speak, But it was there, and I was face to face with it. Face to face. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that so vividly. Things in imagination and dreaming and meditation, but when it's actually like, if you turn around, you still there and things like that, and it's all closed out too. It was awesome. It was awesome. Let's continue the story. But it was like a little more higher pitch than what it was before. And it was like, and I don't know, like, I want to say sonic beams. Like, imagine like circles coming at you. Like, I'm put a graphic here. If I could find one. If not, you're just gonna see me twirling my hands. But it was like, just like in circles growing, but like coming at you. It was like just going into my ears and going into my eyes and going into, because I had my eyes closed the whole time. So my imagination is always turned up, and that's what I was learning too. This is my tiredness coming in. This is just my tiredness coming into the trip. But I was saying that, yo, imagination is the portal. That's what I learned from my last trip, and my imagination be turned up. So I was already envisioning things, and I was already hearing a lot, and I was enjoying it. Like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. Oh, but without even moving, it was just all in my head. It was all in my head, because I was still consciously aware, man, of my own thinking at this point, of like who I was. And then after all of that. And I'm finding center, and then after all of that, I threw up a little bit. I felt myself about to throw up, and right before I was about to throw up, I said, "Man, let me take a little hit," because I still had 2 L's rolled. I said, "Let me take a little hit real fast." But as soon as I took a hit and the smoke went down, I threw up, and I was fasting, so all that came up was just a little bit of water. It was about like 2 gags, just about a little bit of water. So I don't know if that was a little bit of the tea. If I didn't throw that up, if I would have went even harder into this trip, but hey. We'll see. I don't know. Leave it up in the air. But I threw up, and I got into the as soon as I threw up, I already knew what was going on. It was like I already knew the steps that was going to happen, because I have experience. But I could say this was the deepest I ever went into myself. This trip was the deepest I ever went. It was horror stories popping up, horror music, techno music, all of the works, all of these cool things was popping up. But to continue the story, I laid back down. I said, all right, enough of that. I remember throwing it right on the black suitcase. I said, all right, I don't need that. Then I went back and I sat back down and I was laying down. And I tried laying on my side a couple times and on my, like, straight up on my back. But I just felt more comfortable, as I said before, just laying down on my stomach and just breathing like that. And then that's when it turned to other kind of sounds, other kind of music, other type music. And it was a tall, extra tall being with long arms. It's kind of black, so I couldn't really see it. But he was also, or whatever, was also sending all these sonic waves. Sonic waves, that's just the term that kept coming to me. Sending all these sonic waves towards me. But it came in the form of what I hear as music. But so other people, like my girlfriend would just say, man, that just sounds like you pressing buttons on a calculator, or just a bunch of random glitch sounds just thrown together. But I like that kind of music. And I don't think that it influenced this trip, for those that think that. Because it was silent darkness, and it was songs that I never heard before. And I have a good freaking ear for music, where I know when I heard something before. I know when somebody sampled something before. I know it just happened today when I was seeing where a horror movie was from, and I was like, yo, they used that in a rap song, and it was an underground song. Whatever. Styles P song, it was cool. But the Goblin, if y'all know that movie. But yeah, let's keep going. Here I go again, try to be so definitive about myself. Like, yeah, man, relax, Tom, relax. All right, let's kick it. All right. Yes. So the frequency is coming at me, this beam, and it's all black around me, but it's some hints of dark blues and some blues too, like different hues of blues. Similar to, I just looked up, similar to like this painting that I made. You see, I got like these dark purples and blues like down there, but it was even darker than this, but it was like that kind of color, because it was still black, and he was just sending all of these things, and I went in with the intention that I wanted to clear out this nervous feeling that I feel, this nervous feeling that makes me upset, that then leads to me being upset, which then leads to me being angry at times. And all these other shadow voices that would tell me certain things about myself that I have to like readily say, well, that's not me, or instead of it just not being there, period. I was like, I know what is possible. I want that to be worked on me. That's what I went in and that was my intention. I want to just clear this out, and as well just let whatever happen literally just happen, not try to stop anything. That's why I went on a big dose, because I was seeing how I was getting to little corners on microdoses and awesome leaps and bounds, but now it was like even more like beyond awesome leaps and bounds, beyond it. So I found myself going into my imagination, which some will say is like the fifth or sixth dimension in Justice League terms. I was in the sixth dimension. I was there. And then it was cool. Like I was saying, it was cool. The guy was sending me all of these entities, was sending me all of these frequencies and things like that. And it was the blue colors. And then I kept going with the trip. And I don't remember the order. I was not trying to remember anything. I just wanted things to just happen. But during the trip, I found myself Yeah, during the trip, I found myself trying to echo things back to me. Whenever I felt as though I was like, I guess when the wave was calming down, I guess back down a bit, come in waves and go down and up and down and up. You there and then you kind of there and then you back and then you there. And I was, I remember trying to echo things back to me at times. I was like, I can echo something back. I can echo something back. But then again, I was like, no, just keep it going. I remember blocks just kept forming up in front of me, a lot of hallways. And after the good time with that thing, it kind of went dark. It went really, really dark. And I'm going to get this part out. It turned into like horror movie type things. No, this was after. After, before that, it was, I was starting to see things from my childhood pop up. And not just from my child, like from my early teenage years. And it was dealing with a particular female that was involved in my life at a young age when, like, when she was dealing with a abusive boyfriend and came to me. And y'all know me, like, I still grew up in the hood and stuff, but I'm still like I'm still so-called fresh to the world, so to speak, especially around that time. So I was really naive to like what love was, how to give love. I was like, oh, this girl like me and things like that. I like her. It's cool. I didn't really think, oh, she got a boyfriend. She hurt. That's why she here. Even though that was just all behind the scenes stuff. I was just like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. And this like was really playing out to me. Like I was in a third person, first person view of I was in her body, switching all around. And I was seeing how it affected me. Because it didn't go well, obviously. She went back to her boyfriend and I was left like, oh man, I'm so lonely and da-da-da-da-da. So I was seeing how that was one of my first times of actually feeling like lonely in my life. Like feeling a separation in my life. And then I was like, man, and then it went farther back and I saw my dad and stuff. And it wasn't that much that I remember, but I just remember me saying, oh yeah, I know, my dad. Like, at the end of it, and my dad, I was like, yeah, he wasn't there. That was just the synopsis of all of that. And then it flashed to some other women in my life. Because it was always me being like extra. Like overall, I saw. And the thing is, I noticed this when I was younger. It's like I kind of forgot all of this. Like, it even showed me the scene of her leaving the house. And me being like, no, don't leave, no. And I was just sitting there. Like, the music changed by then, too. I don't even know if it was music. It was a lot of little people around this time, too. Just running around. After this, or around the same time. I don't know. But I'm just putting a note out there that it was a lot of tiny people running around. Tiny men running around. Men running around. I suppose. And then it was showing me other women and I was seeing how, yes, the little people was there, and I was going through things about the women that came in my life, and they always seemed to have a boyfriend, or always just was fresh out of relationship. And so I guess they saw me as like, oh, that's some cool fresh meat. Oh, he's a black guy, and yeah, man, and and all this other things in between. And I was seeing how that wrapped me up in the future, and thinking that I had to be a certain way now, forgetting all the loneliness, but like, yeah, man, if you could put all your worries on me and going for the girl like that, like being sympathetic to the girl, and that's why they like me and things like that, and always working on that, not knowing that so much I was placing on myself from all of their energy and life's things that they was going through, which is still cool. That's why I just was sitting with it and like, oh man, why did I do that? But the whole balance of everything it was showing me, because it wasn't a bad thing and it wasn't a good thing. It was just things that was happening, and I was able to sit back and witness and just understand it. I wasn't like, oh me, oh my, or any of that. I was just proud of myself about that. I was just proud of myself. Took pride in that. because it allowed me to keep the trip going, because I didn't want the trip to stay focused and be all of this. I said, I know, all right, let's keep it up, and then after that, I saw the gnomes running around. I said gnomes, I guess gnomes, little people running around me singing songs, and they were singing songs though. It wasn't happy songs at first. First they just started running around. Then it was songs like Willy Wonka. This was still around the time I was going through the situations dealing with loneliness and stuff, and they were singing a particular song to me. The words were so crisp and clear and everything, and it was just like a trail of them, like Willy Wonka, and they were singing something about how high I felt lonely, like a Disney song or like a musical, where they're singing about what happened and how all of this led, and it's so emotional, impactful. It was just song like that, but I was who they were singing about. I was definitely la 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 la. And then after this, that's when it turned to a complete horror scene, a complete horror music. Blood, and I remember hearing True Life story too. I mean, Booker. Like, I heard a lot of voices, a lot of things. This is when it got into the trip where everything that I feared was happening. Every thought that I was trying to avoid before going into the trip, that I knew that I was fearful of in my waking life, or in my whatever this is, whatever term you want to put on it, it all came up. True, like Booker, like thought came into my head saying, yeah, I saw twisted bodies and stuff, everything in my shroom trip. Then I started seeing bodies. I started seeing, like, you ever see like when somebody cuts somebody in a horror movie, but they don't want to show everything, and they just show a splatter of blood on the wall real quick. They show that scene, and they just show it oozing. I saw that a couple times. Straight up saw that a couple times. And the music, I'm gonna play the music while I'm talking right now, while I'm describing these scenes, or I'll stop right now, and then I'll come back in right here, or if not, y'all just saw me pause. But it was straight horror music, like classic horror music, classic with all the bells, all the like the violin, like jump scares and everything. But I wasn't scared though. I wasn't scared. It was just like I was watching a horror movie. And I thank the mushrooms for the microdosing, because I was thinking this a while ago. It was like, yo, my neighbor, he's calm all the time, but he likes to watch horror movies. I was like, and I never liked watching horror movies. I used to be scared of horror movies growing up. Like, man, I ain't watching that. Still found myself watching a couple things when I was with friends and things like that. But on my own, I like sci-fi movies, but I ain't like horror genre movies. I was like, what's the point? I mean, I was just scared. Not even what's the point, but I was just literally scared of it. Most I went with Scooby-Doo. But lately I've been watching horror movies, kinda, so to speak. And like mostly 80s movies where they just have a lot of blood in it. And this was like a month or two ago. So it's not like I was recently watching it last week or 3 weeks ago, and then it just appeared in my trip. And like, oh, you watched a horror movie. That's why I know, because it was filled with a lot of things that I was avoiding in my life that I can't even recall right now. Besides the one thing I was trying to avoid, like the twisting flesh and bodies. Like, that was always something in my mind I didn't want to see, or fire or nothing. But I seen all of that. And I was the person just walking around like just wow. Like, and Mysterioso voice ran through my head too when he said, man, I seen some stuff that other people, they'll freak them out and turn away and run around. I remember that vividly saying it in my head, and I was like, yeah, he's right. And I just kept it going. And then after all of the fears was over, Like, no, I can go more into that, the fear world. The game I played, the Sea of Sorrow, I was there. I was there and I saw all of my thoughts being conjured up as monsters. I can't skip this part. Yeah, I seen everything being conjured up as being a monster, a gremlin, something that I formed, that I saw myself at the end of the day forming to be a monster. It was my thoughts of, like, you're not good enough, or would you think that? Or who do you think you are? It was thoughts like that. And they was all forming as monsters. And I saw myself just going through the darkness. And I really saw myself in my game. And I said, I had the thought of, oh, this is why I played this game on my show, because this is how I was feeling. And the thing is, I knew that's how I was feeling kind of when I was playing it, but I felt as though I was over it. I felt as though I thought that I was over it. Let's just say like that. I thought that I was over it, but apparently I wasn't. And I was like, yo, my show, I really am displaying what I'm going through right there. Because I was literally in the game, in the show, paddling through the boat, seeing the monsters. And it wasn't, I saw the monsters in the game and I saw them as other forms that I can't even remember. I can't even remember. Alright guys, another thing I remember from the trip that I didn't say during the story was, or this is part of the story, it's future past, is that there were snakes. I saw snakes distinct times, two different times. They were like in a corner, turned their head, and this way at me. That's what happened, and then it happened again. One time it was from the right, looking this way, and the other time was when looking this way, whatever that means. Wherever my awareness was, but I remember it coming up and just like getting me. And then I don't remember what happened after that. I just remember the flash of recognizing a snake in a corner. And it's not like it was a corner of a building or anything. It was like in another space, so to speak, just blackness and things, and just things floating around, and it was just in this one floating object or something, and then it decided to come out of it and get me. And you know, a lot of people see snakes in their visions and things like that, and during their ayahuasca journeys and shroom journeys, and who knows what it means? And my research and what I've been coming across have a lot to do with just Kundalini energy and wisdom, and just approaching certain aspects in your mind. Finally, like, you have, in order to reach this certain point, you gotta approach the snake, gotta approach the viper, gotta approach the nagas. Captain Naga. But yeah, that's all I got out of the snake so far. Or they like to say on YouTube, the cosmic serpents. The cosmic serpents. Music. And then after all the horror music and all the scenes and blood and everything, it switched to horror. It switched to me flying because I was cool with it. I don't know if it's because I was cool, but I just kept letting it go. I just kept letting everything go. Like, just accepting of everything. Accepting, not saying, oh, that ain't me. Or, oh, yeah, well, I am like that. I wasn't getting lost in the sauce or anything. I was like, I knew that this was going to come up. It was like I knew it was going to come up. I had a huge sense that that's going to come up. So I was like, I'm just leaping over it. And then I got to somewhere else. I was taken to another place. I remember being in a mall. I don't know when this came about, but I remember being in a mall. And I don't go to the mall. I don't. But it was resembling the mall that's here in the town I live in now. And it was a girl in the food court. It was a woman in the food court. A woman. And she said, do you want to come with me? And I ain't had no reservation. I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. And then that's when I was taken somewhere else where I was, where it was the music. Where it got back to being not horror music, but like straight up fist pumping music. Like a bunch of, like somebody just resembling there being on a DJ table. Like, I love that kind of vibe. It was just music partying. It was a lot of colorful blue, orange, neon lights, as they say. And I was above it, looking down. Like, everything was down, and I was above it. And then I did go down a little bit. Like, I remember I was like where the rooftops was. I don't ever remember being on the ground fully at this moment that I'm talking. I was mostly floating. And I was enjoying the music. I remember just enjoying the party. I remember enjoying the party. I had no thoughts about this world of where I was right now or anything. I was, boom, just party mode. It was awesome. It was terrific. It was very terrific, guys. And I was living. I felt home. And still I wasn't giving in to astonishment either. I still wasn't, because I knew that it was more. I was partying, but I still had a sense that it was more. For some reason, I had a sense that it was more. Cause it keeps going. Y'all know I had a sense. I know why we got the sense, man, cause we know things. Well, I'm describing how I was during the trip, how I felt, thoughts going during the trip. And when I kept going, another interesting part what it changed to, I was with the music still going on, then I was whooshing and whirling, and I saw a lot of art. A lot of cool, awesome art. A lot of awesome art that some would see as scary, and then some would see as not scary. And the thought just ran through my head. Blake Wolf. Shout outs to Blake Wolf. He ran through my he was there in that world too. Because the question went through my head that somebody asked him, why do you post these pictures on the Discord? This was during this, throw it back. This was back during the horror thing. And I was seeing a lot of scary art. What people would say scary art, horror art, things that would try to shock you. Like shock you art. And Blake Wolf ran through my head because he posted a picture of worms, of a mask, and had worms coming out the face and things like that. I'll post it right here. He posted this picture. And I was seeing things like that. And I remember his voice saying, it's art. And I remember thinking, yeah, it is art. I'm not scared by this. And I used to look at stuff like that when I was younger too, a little bit. But I was seeing these things, and that was the thought that got me to this art. And I was just looking them around. I was like, wow, it really is there though. It really is there. That's the thought that was going through my head. This really is there. It really is there. Just like you see that mask right there, it really is there. Just imagine worms and stuff coming out. But jump forward back to what I was saying. I was in the art world. There was a lot of black kind of sky and red going on, and some blues. But it was a lot of sculptures, just random sculptures. And I wanted to be prepared for this. It was I did see jesters, so to speak, clowns. And there was a guy sitting there. I'm gonna make this sculpture too. I'm gonna make this or paint this so y'all can get a definite. It was a guy with arms. Oh man. Hold on, guys. It was a guy with arms, or a clown with arms, sitting there as part of one of the art pieces. One of the art pieces there was a couple eyes around, things like that. It reminded me of this like Doom type environments. But the guy arms was crinkly like this, and he was just sitting there. He had skinny things just like this, and the arms were just flapping. And I remember that. I'm seeing see if it's in there. Yeah, his arms just like that. They were just flapping. So I was like, all right, man. So then when I saw that, and I saw a definite painted picture. It wasn't on a canvas either, but it was like a picture, reminiscence of like the best paintings, man, of like surreal paintings. I was in surreal land. Let's call it that. I was in Thailand. Surreal land. There was a bunch of surreal pictures going on. And there was one definite picture that I remember seeing before I left this place. Like, this was a place. Then I left this place and I went to another place. And then I remember that. And I went to another thing. No. I went somewhere else. It probably come back to me. But it was at a sense that I got the sense that, not sense, but I started saying to myself that I went to a sense and I started saying that I'm creating all of this. I said, I'm creating all of this. I'm creating this. I created this. I'm creating all of this. And then once because I was seeing something else after the art, I said, I'm creating this. The clowns, and I was like, all right, I gotta remember. I created this. I remember seeing the clown. I created this. And then once that went away, this is when it gets to the part, man, the part where other people will say, oh, they was fucking with me, man, they was fucking with me. But I was just, in my humblest opinions, was just showing how fake everything was. Fake. Since I created it. And what I mean, and I said, I hesitate with this because it was as vivid to me as the horror movie part. As the horror sounds. The horror movie sounds. Because like I heard these before. But it was an event happening, and why not how I created it, it zoomed out. And then I saw the directors and the producers filming with cameras what was going on. And then it happened again. And again and again. And I was just looking. It just was doing it in as many creative ways as possible. It just kept pulling out. And just imagine having thought, oh, you thought this was the real. Oh, you thought this was the real. That's not the thought I had. But when I look back at it, that's what throws you into it. That thought of, oh, you thought this was real. Oh, you thought this was real. You thought this was the real. You thought this was the real. And just kept zooming out. But I kept saying to myself, I created all of this. And every time I thought, it kept zooming out. Like, imagine, I'm going to try to recreate this. And if I can recreate it, it's going to be a gap in here again where I just talk and then I get back into bang right here. But if I don't recreate it, just imagine, if I'm not able to recreate, I'm going to keep talking. Just imagine somebody just picked up this whole frame where I'm talking right now with everything included, what you see in this box. And like they up here, you see this hand coming down and just picked it up. And it was just like they picked it up and shifted it to the side so that you saw everything from another angle, and then you just saw all the cameras recording everything. Like you was able to now see the camera now. Like an extra camera just appeared out of nowhere. Let's say like the extra camera appeared out of nowhere, and then you see me recording myself. And it was another example of something, I don't remember, like something, if it was zoomed in, it wasn't real. I don't remember. It's going to come to me. But I kept trying to remember it. It was just, I remember seeing an object on the table, and then it went into that, and then somebody picked up that, and that wasn't real. And I think how I remember it later after the trip was, imagine somebody had a record disc, and you existed on that record disc. And then, but something started glitch. You was playing a song on a record. Let me take you there. You're playing a song on a record disc. The record skips. You like, oh man, why did this just glitch? I mean, why did this just skip? Like it had a scratch or something on it. So you're like, I need to examine this. But as soon as you have the thought of I need to examine this, you zoom out, and then it's another you in the same exact time and place, but it's picking up that record that involves the you that was just thinking before all of this. And it's like, oh man, this disc is scratched up. But it was really that whole reality that you was just thinking it was glitched. That's his whole record. That was my whole record being skipped. It was things that as well happened. And it was, I'm trying to throw out many examples, but it will come. It will come. Not gonna stress. Not gonna stress. Cause that's what I was getting at. This reality, I stress a little too much. So it's not real. It's not real. That's what I can say all day. I'm going back into the attitude I had. It's not real. And this was after the trip. It's not real. Like, yo, what the meanings if it's all fake? But I've been through that road. You don't want to become I don't want to become a nihilist. So I didn't let myself go that far. But when I kept thinking about all of this, it kept bringing it back because it keeps going. I got more for y'all. I got more. What else happened? Cool. Just another throw in that I forgot that came up later was that I remember entering a ship. I remember entering a spaceship. And it was like the classic one too that was docked. It had I'm gonna put a picture of it while I talk, but it had the whole stairway come down to meet at the floor. It had the things to meet on the floor, and I was invited to walk up. That was another thing, and I don't remember what happened after that. But I remember it being a calm. It wasn't a scary scenario or anything like that, or at least I wasn't scared. I wasn't terrified. But it was a spaceship there. It was a spaceship. So I can say that I was abducted, taken somewhere, and that memory, y'all know how it goes. Y'all know how it goes. It'll come back to me as time flies by or during the next trip. While everything was zooming in and out, one of the things, as well as seeing the producers and things filming, I saw me quacking a horn. You know the horns that's on the bikes? The horns that's on the bikes, or a clown horn. I go. I had one of those, and I was pushing it. I was like, whenever I thought that that's what it was. Whenever I thought that, yeah, I am creating this. It's like the person up there that I said was squeaking the horn knew that I had attention to him, and squeaked the horn. And to me, that was a form of God. That's God. The Marilyn Manson song ran through my head later. I went to God just to see, and I was looking at me. That's what I was looking at. And I looked at it later as I was a one-man band. Imagine, before I get to the one-man band scenario, I felt myself, imagine how people make sound effects. Don't you know how when they walking in the movie and they go, they add in sound effects. They're adding sound effects so you hear the extra thump or the extra creak in the door, or somebody there while looking at the screen like, I gotta match this up. I saw myself doing that to everything. I saw myself doing that. and being right on cue. Even to me being attentive to myself. I heard the horn a couple times. I'm gonna put it in here. Yeah. Just tie, guys. Just tie. I wish to be excited about this. I wish to. Though I am. I had a couple days to think this over, man. And the way thing is so more vivid than lucid dreaming, but it is just like lucid dreaming, but I remember it so much more vividly. Even more than my couple days. But I saw myself as a one-man band doing the sound effects. And like another thing I said, imagine like somebody hitting the xylophone, the triangle, playing the drums, got the feet at the drums and things like that. Like I had everything just ready for whenever the call was needed. And I was laughing. I had a whole bunch of other revelations that was so-called, let's put it in this world, epiphanies up here, and I felt myself laughing in this world. I was like, whenever I get that laugh, whenever I hear that Joker laugh and anybody else, I know they just encountered something that they can't read, that they probably need to write down if they could, but can't, or it was just there. I did at least like a couple times, like 4 or 5 times. And I felt myself at times during the trip nodding to myself, like me saying something or something out there in the multiverse saying something and me going like I'm still laying down, but me just going. And I didn't open my eyes the whole time. The whole time I did not open my eyes. I did not. I probably like two times to look over at the painting. And I couldn't really see. I saw it a little tiny bit, but I couldn't really see it. Cool. Just another throw in that I forgot that came up later was that I remember entering a ship. I remember entering a spaceship. And it was like the classic one too that was docked. It had I'm gonna put a picture of it while I talk, but it had the whole stairway come down to meet at the floor. It had the things to meet on the floor, and I was invited to walk up. That was another thing, and I don't remember what happened after that. But I remember it being a calm. It wasn't a scary scenario or anything like that, or at least I wasn't scared. I wasn't terrified, but it was a spaceship there. It was a spaceship. So I can say that I was abducted, taken somewhere, and that memory. Y'all know how it goes. It'll come back to me as time flies by, or during the next trip. So I didn't really have that big of an open eye visual experience. It was all within. I didn't have the fan on, air conditioner, nothing. No sounds was going on, no lights on. Everything was occurring within my own realm of existence. Whatever came out was going to come out, guys. That was the most tiredness I ever been in. That was the most I ever went in, and I loved it. It was a movie. It had a beginning, middle, and an end. And when I did kind of come out of it towards the end of the trip, it was about since it was a T, the rush was over kind of fast. So it was about 3.5 hours in when I was thinking about hitting some cannabis, some weed or something like that. And I remember looking at the iPad, because I was like, I kept the iPad on so I wouldn't have to press the button or anything. I don't want the thing. I just want to be able to flip it over, look at time, and flip it back. And it did not feel like 3.5 hours. It felt so much longer. Way much longer. Like I watched 10, 15 movies. And was paying attention to every single detail, was a part of every single cell, every single fractal of every single thing that was going on in those 20 movies. And it was enjoyable. I loved it. And I can't wait to go back. But yeah, man, we gonna break this down live because I want to be able to talk this over with y'all. But I still wanted to make sure I got out the classic story time video. Woo. Yeah, guys, we done loosened a couple screws. So there's no telling what we gonna do from now on. And shout outs to the True family. Shout outs to Vanity Machiavelli. And I forget the other awesome goddess name who also went on a trip. Vanity went on a acid trip and she went on a shroom trip. They also had a challenging experience. I want to talk to them and know what went on. They did it the same night that I went in. as Ty went in. It's a whole bunch of things that was just so much confirmed to me after the trip that a lot of the confusion in my head is disappearo. Magical disappearo is gone. It's gone. A lot of things I had confirmed. A lot of things I know is so confirmed that there's no point in talking about it, reiterating it, or anything like that. Humbleness, silence is golden. It's wild, and I love it. I love life. But for those out there that be knowing, traveling out there in the multiverse, y'all know what I mean by if it slips out, it slips out. But I don't want to just blurt things out. I don't want to just blurt things out, you know? And I see I was talking a lot. But I was catching on to things. And now that I experienced it, just tired, man. Just think about these things. Pan-cyanescence, psilocybin cyanescence. Where is that? And we see how this being decriminalized throughout the world, and I love it. I love it. Not throughout the world, but throughout the cities. In my world, it's already decriminalized. But it did get back into the feelings. It did shake me up like hours later, not after the trip or nothing, but like hours when I was trying to describe it to my neighbors. I was like, oh wow, I really did actually experience that. That actually did happen. That happened. Felt as though I went into my movie. I went into the movie. The thing that I always say is playing off in my head when I'm talking to y'all, or when I say I be daydreaming and things like that, or when I'm drawing, it's like I went completely into it, and I want to go deeper into it. I know it's levels. I feel the heightness, and I'm comfortable with it. And it's not an escape drug. It's not any of that. It really is definitely exploring oneself and going into the multiverse with your own will. Sitting on your own fears. Sitting in your own shit. Sitting in it. Not meditating on it. Not looking at it. Not drawing the pretty picture of it. But sitting in it. Hearing the mush when it goes down. Hearing the smells. The flies. The bugs coming out of it. Big difference. Because I microdose a lot. A ton. First big dose. Had a big dose of cubes back in the day. But it wasn't in silent darkness. Setting. Changes the whole game. Have fun, guys. But know that when they're setting up a rocket ship, it's not in any random place. It's in a certain setting. And the thinking, though, when you deals with the mind, let the thinking go, the better. The more. The whole trip, if I would have thought about something and delayed on it, that would have been the whole trip. But I kept going. I kept the boat sailing. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is about roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Gently. Gentle with myself. They showed me to be so much more gentle with me. Or allowed me to. Remove barriers so I can. As well, to throw back into the trip, I went into some dreams. I was thinking that I had the power to go to people's dreams. And I was like, these people sleep right now. Let me see. So shout outs to you, True. And it was a third person, but I don't remember. When I said they sleep right now, I'm gonna go to their dreams. I loved it. All respect to the mushroom. All respect. And some takeaways, they're always there. They're always there. They always there. I always hear that voice. And if I'm arguing with the voice, like what? It's so real relevant to me now that this is it. I am you, you are me. As I opened up the curtains, I said, I'm the sun rising. I didn't say I'm the sun rising. I just felt sun, shining light, moon, everything. I can't tell. But yeah, I've wrapped this up, guys, man. That was the prescription. The Terrence McKenna prescription, the prescription I hear around the woods, and it can change up for you, it can change up for me, it definitely is, but it definitely took me to where I wanted to go. All the intentions I had, it was definitely the experience that I was with, that I guess I intended, and even way more. And I love that I was able to put myself through it. And the thing about it, comparing it to the microdose, because y'all know the microdose, it allowed me to, like, if I'm meditating, the microdose allowed me to meditate, do yoga, paint, like do comfortable things that allow me to express myself, even tie sometimes on camera. And I see how it gets me to that point where I recognize the itch. Like, yeah, it's a little itch, it's a feeling, a hunch, or something like that. But with the full-blown experience, I was fully into that. I was fully wrapped and involved, fractalizing everything in there. Where it was I don't want to really think about that right now. It just really goes into it. But the cool thing, why I say this is a path I'm throwing out there that I have taken, is that the microdosing allowed me to actually start taking action in my life, like move in my life, in this imagination life, so that I didn't just jump into a big trip and be like, oh, I never thought about that before in my life, about how that was affecting me, and now gotta hurry up and run around, do all these things. So that's what allowed me to just comfortably float back into this realm of reality. Or did I come back to the same of reality? I'll leave that up to you. Because I did feel a moment. I did feel that moment of a pushback. And a scan, like a push over, or like a couple of me's, or something. I don't know how to say the sense, picture it, but the sense of it, it was a changing thing, a changing factor, changing something. Or not, it didn't seem like I was changing. It was just like I was going back to just to somewhere else, to another thing. And did I wake back in the same place? Who is to tell? Mandela effect, though, guys. Look into that. But this is about a trip. I'm trying to remember things that I was talking about. It don't matter. I love the experience. I will so do it again. I will so do it again. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm looking for the beauty. I'm looking for nothing. I'm looking for nothing at all, really. I'm looking for nothing. As long as I apply thinking to it, I see how that thinking influences my trip. And if I'm trying to, how can I get over thinking with more thinking? Shouldn't I have something that's above my thinking? And that's what it was showing me, revealing to me that the different levels that I'll be thinking about and hearing all the voices in my head, that is all me. But it's different developments of me in different forms and fashion, so to speak, in different, it's just different levels, man. It's levels, guys. But I don't want to go, I don't want to go too much into that. Save that for another episode. But that's when you start getting into like the psychics, the mediums, and why am I even using those words? The superpowers. We have superpowers. I was being revealed and told what let's put it in this fashion, what my gifts so-called are, or what gifts I developed, what things I developed, what extra sensory things I developed. Because it comes naturally, and it comes with, and it strengthens through development. And like, just like the comic book, some people born with more of this, some people spark off more of this, some people there, some people here. But it's cool. I love it, I love it, I love it. I appreciate everybody that y'all heard me mention. Y'all heard me mention y'all. Yeah. Thank y'all all world. Thank you, Tires. Thank you, Tires, for listening. Thank you for joining in on these adventures and in all the tiredness. Because in those trips, I was seeing how much I really go psycho when I can't ride. Psycho when I can't ride. Oh, whatever. I don't know what I'll be doing. I just be having fun. And I want to continue having fun with y'all. So if y'all have any ideas, man, send them this way. Join the Discord, or send any videos or artsy things that y'all made, or if you want to collaborate or anything, any collab. Shout outs to How. I'm about to collaborate with him. Help Save Animals channel. Check him out. But yeah, I'm just wrapping up all the thoughts, because the day after I was mostly quiet, but I just went about my day. I didn't really want to share anything. I just wanted to continue experiencing life. So I'm a rowdy boy. I'm a rowdy. This is a rowdy thing going on, disrupting the vibes. I mean, not disrupting the vibes, but shout outs to True Life. Shout outs to Psych Substance. Shout outs to Dakota at Earth. Shout outs to King Oz. Shout outs to every channel out there that talks about psychedelics and that really puts their heart out there. Shaman Oaks and all the other YouTubers that I've seen. Even the people that write on Shroomery, everything. Thank y'all. Reddit, the Reddit Shroomery, everyone that speak about their stuff, that's willing to speak up, because you get the hint that you don't really want to do it. That what is the need to do it? Especially when you really when you really indulge in it, where you're eating you. Like, you're not just eating a piece of the pie, you are the pie eating itself. So, thank y'all. Or thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. Thank yourself. Thank yourself. Every once in a while. Every once in a while, just thank yourself. Give yourself a hug. Get yourself a hug. But as the story goes, we all tie. But do we really tie? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. Till next time, guys. If you want to help further these adventures, check out in your mind the way that pops up for you to help. Tie always. It's time to be a human again. Tie down store, come and explore. 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 Yeah. Come and explore. Tie store.